Hello, everyone. So I thought I would be able to get this out tomorrow on Friday. But good news, I'm doing a live early, and so we can actually get this weekly out ahead of time. So if you are underneath my Facebook and you saw that I was going to be going on and doing a live on Friday, um, that doesn't work best for me, so I'm coming on today. And the main thing is that we can get our messages to get some insight on what's going on from February 7th until February 13th. So I am going to be pulling up cards for each day specifically, and I'm also going to just channel some messages and see what comes through. So, in general, this is for all signs of the zodiac, and also the intention is that everybody gets the messages that they need, and that it doesn't matter when you're watching this, that you will get exactly what you need. And I would also invite you to go back to previous weeks and as well paying attention to the monthlies. Okay, so let's go into Monday the 7th. What do we need to know? I'm actually just going to kind of close my eyes here. So if you guys, if you're watching, even on the replay, just coming into a receptive state, first thing that I get is we need more laughter. All right, and I absolutely am feeling that. Hooray, we are out of Mercury retrograde. And so that is something that we can now laugh about all of those things that probably have happened to us over the last 20 days or so. You know, for myself, there's been a lot of cleansing. And if you've been watching my other lives and my other readings and talks, I think everybody else is feeling a lot of cleansing as well. We also had a new moon on the 1st in Aquarius, and that was all about really coming into that strength. Then we also have our Chinese New Year, which is in the Tiger, which is again really about. I feel like I don't want to use the word dealing, but we're coping with things head on. So there's more action based energy. All right. So Monday, laughter is important because when we look back into the past, what you want to notice is more healing. Okay. Um, you're looking back at, oh my gosh, thank God I'm not there anymore. One of those types of days. Okay. So it actually might be a day to just bring yourself back into more of that lighter energy. If you're a sensitive person, I do feel that it's a really good time for heightening your sensitivity and heightening your awareness. So, inviting, that's what laughter does. Inviting the laughter energy will actually raise your vibration and help you release at the same time. And I'm also getting it's going to be exceptionally important that you're working with your imagination. And when I think about using the imagination, it's about not blocking things out anymore, but allowing your mind to go into healthy directions. This might look like planning out your next few weeks by doing some type of visualization exercise, or even like another a vision board. If you've already done one at the beginning of the year, this might be a great time to reassess those things because we are different people than we were in January. We're now just starting off into that second week of February. So we're evolving really quickly. Okay, so that's what's coming up. Hello, Angela. For Monday, all right. So we're gonna still pull out a card for Monday as well, but the key word there is bringing in laughter. Okay. Please also let me know if you're catching this on the replay and how are you feeling? How is life treating you right now? I would love to know. High Council, Evolution, Information, and Potential. So Monday is really talking about, as we were saying, that spiritual energy, bringing your spiritual into your day. Because our spiritual is more like that meditation, that more joyful space that we get to be in, which is really like happiness, right? So I do feel like there's a lot to be grateful for and there's a lot to be happy about. So if you're able to focus on that, you're going to find that your transition throughout the week is going to be more purified. Okay. So the reason why we do this ahead of time is so we can start preparing ourselves for this. The reason why we're doing it day by day is because if you do one thing on Monday, then you're going to find that some of these things become easier each day of the week. So what I like to do when I listen to weeklies is actually get my notebook out and just take down the information that was coming through. And then when I go to kind of look into my days, I'm mindful of that. Okay, we're not obsessive. And then the next thing I get with Tuesday is you might have headaches, tension around your shoulders. Your energy might be feeling a bit off. Okay. And what we really want to do is breathe, focus more on breath work, okay? I just finished my 29th day of yoga, and it's amazing how you can change so quickly, right? So Tuesday is telling us when we take more time to do breath work, it's like we're literally taking a break. It's like we're stepping away from everything else. So if you notice that you do have some of this tension or you do have stress in your physical body, breathing is going to be a great way to start to help more with our mental health. So the other thing too is I'm getting you might have some heart chakra issues going on, and those things could be coming up on Tuesday. So as these things come up, you're actually working on repairing your life, repairing your nervous system. And the only way we can do that is by identifying with where we feel broken, where we're feeling like we're not getting enough of what we deserve. If you're working on wealth and prosperity, Tuesday is going to be a day where you might even have a bit of a breakthrough as well, okay? And I also think that because we're on Monday, we're focusing on laughter, that's going to trickle over on Tuesday, and it's going to be more comfortable for you to handle the situations that are going to be presented for you, okay? Hello and hi. So let me know how you guys are feeling. So we're going to pull up a card for Tuesday the 8th. So we know that 8 is a number of taking action on things. So you might want to start preparing yourself for that. What are some new beginnings that you're bringing into your life right now? Because we're doing this on the 3rd, and we're 2 days out of that new moon. So you might already be noticing shifts based on whatever you are attracting with your new moon intentions as well. I know that that's definitely happening for me. So I'm getting for people to bear with me as well as I'm still sorting out things like scheduling. Okay. Kitchen. All right. So right away, Wednesday, you're going to be feeling like water is extra, extra, extra important. Lotion. I make natural lotions as well. If you're interested, I make a bunch of oils, things like that. I also make tinctures now. These things are really, really important because it's super important that you're able to feel like you're in a more balanced and flow space. So if you're feeling like you're dry or your energy is lower, be mindful of what's causing you to feel dried out. Okay. The visualization that I'm getting is for someone who just isn't chewing their food and they're not breaking their food down, and so they're not really getting that proper nutrition. Because if you don't break down your food, you don't get the nutrients that go through all of those different aspects of your physical body, right? So if you do have ailments, physical ailments as well, I'm getting to stop focusing on what is broken within you and start focusing on, where you could be doing more work. And again, don't be hard on yourself about that, but this kind of comes up with letting go of past traumas and past things that have happened to you. So it might be a great week to also get some healing, things like that, okay? So you can go to robinshealing.com. If you're interested in working together, we can set something up. But you might, again, Wednesday feel like you're having more of those breakthroughs as well. If you are willing to work more with the community and talk to people, find out what's going on in their world, see if you can help more people, check in with how people are feeling, as I was just doing. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Can you give me a reading? Yes, you can go into robinshealing.com and you can book online there. Okay, so far we have the 7th is laughter, The 8th is breath, and the 9th is breakthrough. Okay, um, so we have High Council, okay, and we have Kitchen. And now what I'm getting here is on the 10th. Okay, I'm getting to focus back on the 8th and the 8th and the 9th again, Tuesday and Wednesday. The reason why gardening is coming up is because this is still talking about nutrition. Apparently, that's really important for us right now. If you can eat like local plants, things like that, that's going to be much better than buying things from different places. I'm also getting that, when there are pesticides on things, obviously, that's not ideal. So, the more you can buy, the purer you can purchase things, the better. So if you're not paying attention to toxic chemicals and things like that that are on your food or in your foods, of course this is going to make a huge difference in terms of how you're growing emotionally. And when you're not feeling well emotionally, we all know that that's going to affect your spirituality and it's going to affect your relationships. And so again, this community aspect is talking more about that holistic approach of everything really being seen as a whole instead of seeing us as separate, and that my energy doesn't affect your energy and my choices don't affect other people. Everybody's choices affect everybody else's choices. So it's this like group think community work that's going to be very significant at the beginning of next week. Okay, so that's what the first half of the week is about. Very interesting, but groupthink, I really like that. I know in university when we used to work on group projects and things like that, and maybe you do that in your own work setting, maybe you guys have team projects and things like that. But I know that, brainstorming was always, for me, in marketing and business and stuff, I always found that that was so fun to come together and actually come up with solutions as we all bring something to the table. And it's so cool how we can just fire off creative ideas, right? So that's going to be really strong. So we have on the 10th Sun, illumination, growth, and God energy. Just checking to see how you guys are doing. Hi, Robin. So Thursday, the 10th of February, the word growth, the reason why that feels like it's coming up is because we have to, when we're planting seeds and we're manifesting, we have to really make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and we're taking care of the things that we say that we want to do. So if you want to lose weight, but you're not changing your diet, then how is it going to work, right? Like you have to do the work. So what's coming up here is feeding yourself with positivity, positive thoughts as well. So if things aren't really going your way per se, it's important that you make shifts and you grow emotionally, and again, that will help you. So if you're like choosing not to be focused, then again, don't be hard on yourself about it, but you might be not paying attention to where your blocks are because you're not really willing to look at the reality of where you really are, right? That's why we go to other healers and mentors and coaches to get help with these things, right? So that one feels, it doesn't feel heavy, but it feels like getting a little bit more into even like soul searching and really trusting that you will gravitate to what you need when you allow yourself to do that. And I keep hearing group think, so it's really important, I feel like, that we're not just doing things solo, right? As I said, we all make choices, and so like when you take care of yourself, you're helping your family, you're helping your friends. When you don't take care of yourself, you're not helping your family and you're not helping your friends. So when you think you're just doing these things to yourself, no, you're not. You're doing that to others because others are affected by your choices. Okay, somebody needed to hear that specifically. And that's why sharing this out is really helpful as well. So food. Nourishment, relationships, and health. Okay, so on the 10th, it's about really group mindset, right? Of like more holistic approach to things, right? So as you can see, even like day by day, how it's going. So Friday, the 11th, with nutrition, I'm going straight to the bread. And we were talking about tension and headaches and things like that. I don't think people realize sometimes that a lot of their heaviness can really come from what they're consuming, right? Because everything has energy. So when you're choosing foods that aren't lining up with your goals, again, it's not going to be productive. So, for instance, if my goal is to be as healthy as I possibly can, but I'm choosing potato chips, right? And that's what I'm eating every single night. Then, like the common sense is, well, like you can see the avocado, like have some cut up avocado instead of the potato chips. We're aware of what is healthy, hopefully. Not everybody is, but for the most part, we're fairly aware that potato chips are not healthy and that avocados are, right? And I've been talking a lot about eating for your body type and things like that, but I'm also getting to eat for your blood type. A lot of people don't realize that they have nutritional deficiencies, and then they think that they're doing the right things, but they're actually like they're not. So it's really important that you're tapping into your health and those emotions, okay? Because there's some form of self love that's coming up for people on Friday as well. And I'm also getting like French fries and things like that. So be really cautious and conscientious of any type of like fried foods. Okay. We know that there are addictions as well. So that's more like where if you were to work with me, we would go deeper into those private situations. Okay. So then we have, um, so on Friday, it's really about like choices. And then on Saturday, we have Dandelion. Okay, and this is really about having more fun, feeling more light and free. I know for myself, I'm going to be near the ocean, which I'm looking forward to. So that freedom feeling is really coming in. I'm also getting things like retirement as well, to be mindful of like how much freedom you could have if you wanted to. So you might be watching this and you could retire, but you're not because you're thinking more about money than your health, or you're forgetting about the beauty that comes from feeling free and not being tied down, right? So self love is still coming up on Saturday, to really be aware of who makes you feel free as well. So relationships are important. Are you in a relationship that's tying you down or holding you back, or are you in a relationship that makes you feel even more free? And these are all relationships, not just intimate. Okay, so Saturday, free yourself, okay? And then we go into the 13th, which is Sunday, so that'll be the day before Valentine's Day, and we have bathroom, cleanse and clarify. So we are actually finishing where we started off, really talking about the importance of cleansing. And so I keep getting community work, and we talked about the group think, but the community work is sometimes looking into um, where you might be lowering your energy, right? And sometimes when you get together with other people, more people, it can actually raise your energy, because if you're with the right people, everything's going to amplify. Now, if you're with the wrong people, it can become very draining. But if you do choose to work with people or be close to people, as long as you're with the right people for you, they will balance you out and they will actually be purifying to you. So I feel like trust is important, and being trustworthy and feeling trusted, and trusting that you're valued and that you're valuable and all of those beautiful things. So I feel like what I'm getting is we're just um, like new starts and stuff. Like we're just scratching the surface here, and that's really great. I'm so happy we're out of Mercury retrograde. And so to sum up, we have laughter, breath work, breakthroughs. group mindset and holistic thinking, focusing on negative thinking patterns, making healthy, conscious, aware um, choices for you and other people around you. The importance of feeling like you can breathe, feeling like you do have freedom in your life to make the best choices for yourself, and being mindful of who you're exposing yourself to at this time. So, brand new starts, new beginnings. I love you guys so much, and thanks for taking the time to support me on this channel, including YouTube. And there you have your weekly reading. Bye for now.